This is the story of how a beloved and one of the best-selling video game franchise turned into complete garbage. The Sims video game series began its journey in 2000 as one of the most innovative and entertaining games of its time. The game's concept was simple yet unique. Players could create and control virtual people, or Sims, and guide them through their daily lives. The Sims quickly became a cultural phenomenon, with players of all ages and backgrounds enjoying the game's open-ended gameplay and addictive simulation mechanics. However, over time, the series has evolved into something entirely different, leaving many fans of the original game feeling disappointed and disillusioned. When The Sims was first released, it was a breath of fresh air in the gaming world. Unlike other games, which focused on action, adventure, or competition, The Sims offered a chance to create and explore a world of its own, where players could create their own stories and characters. The game was an instant hit, appealing to a wide range of audiences from casual gamers to hardcore simulation fans. The Sims allowed players to build and decorate homes, manage finances, and create relationships with other Sims, and it offered endless possibilities for creativity and experimentation. As the years went by, The Sims continued to grow in popularity, spawning numerous expansion packs, sequels, and spin-offs. However, as the series expanded, it began to lose some of the elements that made it so enjoyable in the first place. The game became increasingly focused on microtransactions and monetization, with players needing to purchase additional content to access new features and customization options. Additionally, the series started to feel more like a business simulator than a life simulator, with players spending more time managing their Sims' careers and businesses than their personal lives. Furthermore, with the release of The Sims 4, the game's fans have become increasingly frustrated with the series' direction. The Sims 4 is suffering from a severe lack of innovation. One of the biggest issues with the game is its confinement to a closed-off world, which is a major step back from the previous installment's open-world concept. It's time to face the hard truth. Not having an open world is hurting The Sims 4, and it's time for the developers to take note. The open-world feature was introduced in The Sims 3, which allowed players to seamlessly move around the game's neighborhoods without loading screens. It was a groundbreaking feature that gave players more freedom and immersion than ever before. However, with The Sims 4, this feature has been removed, and players are once again stuck in a confined world with loading screens between each location. The impact of this decision is clear. The game feels smaller, less immersive, and ultimately less enjoyable. The Sims 4 feels more like a collection of small, disconnected environments, rather than a living, breathing world. The loading screens are jarring and disrupt the game's flow, making it feel more like a chore than a fun and relaxing escape from reality. Furthermore, the lack of an open world has made it difficult for players to engage in the same level of exploration and discovery that was possible in The Sims 3. With the inability to seamlessly move around neighborhoods, players are unable to fully appreciate and enjoy the game's architecture, landscapes, and hidden secrets. Instead, they are forced to navigate through loading screens and limited pathways, making it impossible to explore the game's potential to its fullest. In addition to this, the closed world has hindered the game's social features. In The Sims 3, players could easily visit their neighbors and interact with them at any time. This added a layer of realism and community to the game that is sorely lacking in The Sims 4. The limited interaction options between neighbors and the inability to spontaneously visit them make the game feel less authentic and less immersive. Overall, not having an open world in The Sims 4 is a significant flaw that is negatively impacting the game's potential. The Sims franchise has always been about providing players with a fun and engaging experience that allows them to create their own world and stories. By limiting the game to a closed-off environment, players are missing out on a crucial element of the game's charm and innovation. It's time for the developers to listen to the fans and reintroduce the open-world feature in The Sims 4 or future installments of the franchise. Without it, the game will continue to suffer and fail to reach its full potential. The Sims has unfortunately also become a prime example of the gaming industry's money-hungry tactics. The game's constant expansion packs, which are essential to truly enjoy the game, have been plagued by outrageous pricing and blatant microtransactions that prey on dedicated fans. With each new expansion pack, The Sims 4 offers players a handful of new items, jobs, and gameplay features. However, the cost of each pack is exorbitant, and it seems as though EA is simply trying to milk as much money as possible from its loyal fanbase. To make matters worse, many of the most popular and interesting items are only available through microtransactions, which can cost even more on top of the already steep price tag of the expansion packs. The game's developers seem to have forgotten what made the previous Sims games so great: the ability to explore a vast and open world with no boundaries. Instead, players are now confined to small, cramped neighborhoods that feel more like tiny islands than full-fledged worlds. This has led to an overall lack of immersion and a sense of confinement that only gets worse with each new expansion pack. The Sims 4's money-grubbing tactics have not gone unnoticed by its fanbase. Many longtime players have expressed frustration with the game's pricing model and the constant barrage of microtransactions. It's clear that EA cares more about lining their pockets than delivering a quality gaming experience to their loyal fans. The Sims 4 was supposed to be the next big thing, but the constant glitches and bugs make it almost unplayable. From game-breaking bugs to annoying little glitches, Sims 4 is a nightmare for any gamer looking for a seamless and enjoyable experience. One of the most significant issues with Sims 4 is the way Sims interact with each other. When performing mean interactions, Sims not only damage their relationship level, but can also form negative sentiments that have a long-lasting impact on the way the two Sims interact. This glitch can be remedied by using relationship cheats or mods like MCCC. But why should players have to resort to these methods just to avoid relationship-destroying glitches? It's not just the relationship glitches that plague Sims 4. The game is full of little bugs that make gameplay frustrating and tedious. Sims getting stuck in objects, random crashes, and other issues make it difficult to immerse oneself in the game world fully. But the biggest issue with Sims 4 is the lack of action from the developers to address these problems. The game has been out for years, and yet many of these glitches remain unfixed. Instead, the focus seems to be on pushing out new expansion packs and charging players exorbitant prices for them. And let's not forget the microtransactions. The Sims 4 is notorious for its money-hungry approach to gaming, with players having to shell out large amounts of money for even the most basic features. Want your Sims to have pets? That'll be $40, please. It's time for EA to step up and start prioritizing fixing the game's glitches over pushing out new expansion packs and microtransactions. Sims 4 has the potential to be an excellent game, but it's being held back by the developers' lack of attention to detail and focus on profits. In conclusion, these issues have made it clear that EA, the publisher of The Sims 4, needs to make major improvements in the next installment of the series, The Sims 5. EA needs to focus on improving the game's overall experience and gameplay mechanics, and ensure that the game is free from glitches and bugs that can negatively impact the player's experience. Additionally, EA needs to ensure that the pricing of the game and its expansion packs are fair and reasonable, and that they do not rely heavily on microtransactions to generate revenue. Overall, it's clear that The Sims 4 has not lived up to its potential, and that EA has a lot of work to do in order to regain the trust of fans and create a game that truly lives up to the legacy of the series. Comment down your prediction for the future of The Sims and what suggestions you personally have for it. Finally, thanks for watching this video, and if you are still with me, then consider subscribing to the channel. I'll see you next time. Take care.